previous session of the automated screening application, we have seen that is the how there are the number of applications and then the screening has been done, and that was the example of the big data in talent analytics also. So, what is that big data and talent analytics? So, in this session we will talk about the big data and talent analytics, 7 pillars of the people analytics success, workforce planning analytics pillar, sourcing analytics pillar, acquisition and hiring analytics pillar is there. So, these 3 pillars we will talk into this. So, in the big data, what is the big data? The term big data is mainly used to describe enormous data sets. Nowadays, everybody is talking about the big data analytics, right? And so, I have incorporated data in that how these big data will be applicable in the talent analytics. Now, whenever you are having the huge data sets, right, the question will be arise relevant. A simple example I will like to give, that is a search, and when you give this search, there will be 1,37,400 and so the websites will be there. Now, how to identify the right website, right, and to identify the right website from this big data, right, that we have to understand. Please note that is the whenever as a manager or executives, when you are receiving the applications, then the baby should not be thrown with the bath water, and that means that the whatever the applications are there, because of that there are so many applicants, the most suitable candidate, that he should not be ignored or the excluded. Compared with the traditional data sets, big data typically includes masses of unstructured data and that need more real time analysis. For example, that is the unstructured data. So, it means that there is a data into information, information into knowledge, knowledge into wisdom, and wisdom into truth, right. So, this sequence or this pyramid, right, that has to be clear, that is the how really we need more real time analysis. So, convert that unstructured data into the structured data, that is the information, that will give us the knowledge. So, here it becomes very important, that is this unstructured data, how we are going to in the real time, how we are going to make the analysis. In addition, big data also brings about new opportunities for the discovering new values, right. So, when you are having the so much data, so as you see as a researcher, what you would like to see? You will like to see the number of the impacts. For example, the demographic variables will be there, age, then the gender, and then the geographical locations and the economic status and like this. So, because you have the big data, so you will like to play with that data and churn that data and come out with the very useful information. So, that will create the new opportunities for discovering new values, helps us to gain an in-depth understanding of the hidden values. So, that is the whatever these hidden values are there, right. So, those hidden values we will be extract. Simple example, like the leadership and the gender. So, therefore, whether the males are the better leaders or the females are the better leaders is there. So, you will collect the data and then you will find that is the you will compare that whether the male are the better leaders or the females are the better leaders, and that will be the hidden values which you will like to extract, you will like to do the manthan, and also incurs new challenges. So, how to effectively organize and manage such data sets? So, many times these people, especially the staff and these researchers, they are having the number of data with them, but some of them are not able to connect that data. Some of them they do not use that data, and just the data is remain the as it is and it has not been used. So, therefore, in that case it becomes very very important, that is the how you are going to manage such data sets. If you are going to manage such data sets, then definitely it will be always more and more values you will create. To create this, you have to also understand how to do the connect data into information, or how to do the analysis of this big data in a appropriate way. In fact, we will see the application of this big data into our context, that is the talent analytics. So, talent analytics are a set of analytics that starts with a talent management business question. For instance, who should you attract, acquire, develop, promote or retain, that is a talent management. So, here talent management business questions will be, that is the potential, as we have seen in these automated screening application, right, that is the potential candidates that you have to identify, and integrates internal and external talent data. This is also very very important. If your organization is LEs, that is a large enterprises, then naturally if it is a global organization with the thousands of employees, then you can fill your vacancy from the internal data only, but you are recruiting the new persons. So, you are increasing the manpower unnecessary, and the person who is from the inside who should get this opportunity as a promotion. So, because you do not know about his strengths, you do not have any data sets where you can immediately give the search and identify that yes, these are the requirements are there. So, then these are the people already existing into. If you remember, I have given in the previous session the example in automated screening, that is there is a requirement of the knowledge of Java language, right, and then you have the people with you, but you are not but that is not in the large pool, it is not noted somewhere, it is not structured, right. So, therefore, it is not entered properly, it may be unstructured, but it is not entered properly, and therefore, as a result, even if you the next door, next office is your that employee is in the Java, but you are searching, giving the advertisement, investing the money, taking the interviews, and then then somebody says, oh, that employee was already existing here. So, we have wasted the time and money unnecessary. So, therefore, integrates internal and external talent data. If you integrate that internal and external talent data, and this will refer, right. So, the publicly available data. Now, here I understand the companies will not make it publicly. So, what is that? Knowledge portal is there, and if the knowledge portal is there, then you can connect your requirements with the existing employees data set, or this will be available to the company data. So, CEO is sitting in New York and the requirement is of the Uttarakhand regional head, and on the desktop of the CEO at New York USA, you will find that he is able to screen, that is yes, these are the people, those who are already existing in the, I am talking about internal data. So, they are already existing and they can be given a charge of the Uttarakhand regional head. So, therefore, the company data, make the publicly available to the company, and labor market data, demand and supply, whether these particular employees, now you see, you may have the internal employees, they may not be interested, then what you will do, right. So, therefore, it becomes the labor market data is also there, those who are interested. Those who are not into the market, how you can buy or sell them, right. So, therefore, there is a market data. To make a prediction about workforce behaviors, So, big data also predicts the behavior of employees, that what will be the behavior of employees and actions across the organizations, and there and you take the actions across the organization and enables you to track the results, and therefore, you will find that is the you can give an opportunity to the internal talented employees on the basis of their knowledge, skills, attitude, habits, and that was your requirement, and therefore, you pick the person from internal, that is yes, you are the person we were looking for, and then that person will be kept into the that particular position. So, enables you to track the results, that is you will be keeping doing the posting for that particular talented employee in this position. The rise of big data and analytics is changing the way the world done business, and this applies to talent management as well. So far you have understood that is the acquisition, deployment and development of the talented people is there, and therefore, the application of technology and identifying in the talent analytics, this become very important, that is the you are using that particular data in the talent management area also. How? When one combines the way technology has changed, the speed at which people communicate with the vast insight available on the human behavior, right. So, that will be very important, and one get big data that can be applied to the workforce. Naturally, whenever we are combining the technology, right, and communicating to the your internal sources, you will get a lot of input on the human behavior. You can find the trend of the human behavior, that this particular person will behave like this. So, you are putting the data and then identifying the trend analysis, and in the trend analysis you will find yes, this is the way the person will behave. So, vast insight available on human behavior. One get big data that can be applied to the workforce. So, therefore, in that case this will be only applicable to these workforce when you find there is big data and you are using the technology has changed, which we have seen into the case of the earlier also in the automated screening applications. Big data around workforce behavior attitude can help us predict behavior, identify valuable talent. So, therefore, those who are useful, those that will be identified like never before, match capabilities to market needs, that what are the different market needs are there, retain the best people. So, therefore, those capabilities will be identified to market needs are there. As I mentioned, that is the what is the demand. So, many candidates, our young generation, so they are ready for these with their qualifications, but the market needs is saying that is there is a particular skills are required, especially the technical skills when we talk about. So, whether are you able to match the capabilities to market needs? If you are able to match the capabilities to market needs, you will be able to successful. Retain the best people. So, therefore, you will be able to retain the best people also, because you know, and whatever is their requirement that organization is going to fulfill. So, those who are the innovative drivers, leaders in the organization, their database is available. So, you can identify, oh, this employee is innovative, and therefore, that is the best people in the organization, creative and the innovative and risk taking and new product development and all. So, therefore, what is required? You have to make the business outcomes, and what is the business outcome? Retain those talented employees, because in the market needs there is a lot of requirement of this type of the employees, that is called the intrapreneurs. Intrapreneurs means they are permanent employees, those who are going for the entrepreneurship, and therefore, that will be the intrapreneurs. The power of talent analytics is in its ability to challenge conventional wisdom. So, it is the ability of that particular employee, right, and then identifying with the help of technology to challenge the conventional wisdom, influence behavior, So, enable human resources and business leaders to make and execute smarter and more strategic workforce decisions. So, that is a pyramid. And in the pyramid you go by one step by step, and then you find that is the you can make the there is a conventional wisdom is there, but conventional wisdom is based on their assumptions, and normally that is also found to be most of the time successful, but there is a somewhat risk is there. But when these particular the data analytics, when you are using with the help of technology, and that will be enable the human resource and business leaders to be concrete. Whatever the conventional wisdom is there, that you will be applying on the data set, and there will be the hypothesis assumptions, and on basis of those assumptions, if you are getting the results, you are successful. If you are not getting the results, and more strategic workforce decisions, if it is not there, then definitely there will be an issue, and ultimately impact business outcomes are there. So, here it is becoming an important aspect, that is the these data talent analytics is with the combination of conventional wisdom, right. So, whenever there is a challenge to conventional wisdom, they accept with the help of these all dimensions, behavioral dimensions and identifying the leadership application, so that you can take the smarter and more strategic realistic close to realistic. Reality is infinite, I know, I understand also, but it will be making you upgraded application with the logics. So, your decisions, quality of your decision, that will improve. Many organizations have built the capability to produce basic HR reports and metrics, right, and therefore, in that case here it becomes a wonderful application, whether you are using the dashboard, you are using the Excel, you are using the SPSS, you are using these recruitment softwares, you are using the potential appraisal softwares, and therefore, in that case you will find that is the HR reports are prepared. And however, a 2014 IBM study of 342 chief human resource officers revealed that less than 16% of companies report having the ability to use data to make predictions and make action on future workforce issues. This is a technical issue basically, right, and the HR people the percentage is very less, those who are using this particular the talent analytics methods. So, this is on the future workforce issues, it is a 2014 report, but now we will see that is most of the organizations, and especially with the help of social media, and they are making the use of these the workforce issues, prediction of workforce issues by the HR people with the help of talent analytics. So, basically how the talent analytics works? The talent analytics works with these 7 pillars: workforce planning analysis, right, and talent sourcing analytics, talent acquisition and hiring analytics, onboarding and engagement analytics, the employee lifetime value and the performance management analysis, talent attrition and the retention analytics, right, and finally we talk about employee wellness, health and the safety analysis is there. So, these 7 pillars, by the way we can do the talent analytics. So, first we will talk about the framework is an essential guide to help staffing managers, HR managers, business partners or human capital managers to be competitive using talent analytics. As we have seen in the beginning also, that is the how this big data analytics that is helping to take the human behavioral aspect and predict that is the what will be the behavioral trend. It could be very helpful to organizations that have expressed an interest in harnessing their talent data whatever they are having the talent data, leveraging analytics across the entire cycle of talent management. So, now we find that is the HR people are taking lot of interest and they have expressed in their interest in their talent data leveraging. How to make the analysis, how to get the results, how to predict the behavior, how to identify the internal talent, how to attract the external talent, and therefore this leveraging analytics across the entire cycle of the talent management to drive the better outcomes are there. There is no specific order to use to follow the pillars. So, we are having those 7 pillars, but normally it goes from the acquisition to the deployment, deployment to the development, development to the separation, right. So, therefore, in that case there is no specific sequence is there, because you can apply any particular key problem in the organization. For example, the key problem may be employee commitment. If the key problem is employee commitment, then definitely they will be looking for, that is how to make this application of the software only for the X issues, maybe for the behavioral issues, maybe for the acquisition issues, maybe for the deployment issues, maybe for the development issues, maybe for the compensation and rewards issues. For here example is given. For instance, one organization may have a great talent acquisition strategy, but be really weak in employee retention. This is also a realistic problem. That is, the many the top level companies, they have wonderful acquisition practices. The right person at the right job with the right talent and right skill and right knowledge, with the right attitude. So, all dimensions are covered, and then they are having the acquisition of that particular talented employees. But that employees, the time period to work in that organization, it is not too long. It is, forget about the permanent, but even it is not too long. So, they are failing in the employee retention, they are weak in employee retention. However, you will find there are natural interrelationships between the pillars within the framework as well as the underlying analytics are there. But basically these are the 7 pillars are for the talent management only, and these are the applications of analytics is the talent analytics. So, these verticals are there and you can apply the talent analytics on any vertical, not into the 1, 2, 3, 4, right, but not necessarily that is they are into hierarchy. So, fine, but can it work without any one pillar? No, all 7 pillars are required, and therefore, that is the interrelationships between the pillars within the framework. So, if there is there are the 7 pillars are there and their interrelationships, that has been very strong, as well as the underlying analytics is there. So, they are interconnected are there. So, first analytic pillar we will talk about. Workflow planning refers to the process that helps identify what talent your organization will require. Now, the first and foremost is that is the HR manual that should be ready. HR manual means that is you talk about that is what type of the people you require to perform particular roles and responsibilities and duties. So, therefore, that helps identify what talent your organization require. So, there will be a particular profile and that type of the talent is required to achieve its business goals and business objectives. So, when you are having this type of the talented the specifications, the requirement specifications, then you will definitely you will select the employees according to with the screening automated screening applications and all that right person, and that it will achieve its business goals and business objectives. that is from current needs to the future needs, and the succession planning is there. So, in workforce planning, manpower planning, what we do? We fill the current vacancies, we look forward for the future vacancies, and we also see the potential employees, those who can when the leader is the senior position managers are retired, then there will be the replacement. It is a succession planning. So, that type of these the recruitment and filling the vacancies and the succession planning, that will be done with the help of workforce planning. The workforce planning analytics pillar is about leveraging the analytics to proactively plan for the right number of employees and the right skill sets at the right place at the right time and at the optimal cost. This is very much important. That is the, you are making the investments of the technology, those softwares, right, and then are you getting the ROI on that, return on investment? Is it possible for an organization to make this type of the investments? So, yes, it is possible because there is an ROI. What is the ROI? That is the identifying the right skill sets. If you remember in the previous session, I have given the example, that is the skill sets are very important. Two examples. One is Java, if you remember, that is the person example was there, that we require an employee with the Java. So, right skill sets will be there at the right place. Now, that wherever in the organization structure, it is a front level, middle level, top level. So, you will get the with the right places there, right time whenever there is a need, either it is a crisis or it is a season, and at the season time or it is the proactive the recruitment, then also at the right time and at the optimal cost is there. And for which purpose you like for example, the conventional wisdom may take the hours together to reach a particular decision, but when you are using these the software analytics process, then you are reaching to your decision making process or your requirements very fast, and then you are saving the time. You are saving the time, you are multiplying your activities, and when you are multiplying your activities, so that the organization is getting benefited. So, therefore, at the optimal cost. So, overall cost ROI which you will be identifying, you will find it is going to help in the case of this particular applying the this automated screening or the data analytics or the talent analytics for the purpose of the optimal cost. So, workforce planning analytics helps organizations to create economic value from their human capital planning processes, right. So, what is human capital? Human capital means manpower with that knowledge and skills, that is an asset for the organization. So, here when we talk about the workforce planning analytics, right. So, it is the creating the economic value, because when you are talking about the HR, so HR is creating the economic value from their human capital planning process. So, whatever the human capital planning is there, and that process will be created. It enables your organization to reduce labor costs. So, whatever the labor cost is there, that it enables your organization to reduce labor costs. It increases the productivity, right. So, therefore, in that case that productivity has been increased. So, here it is very important, that is the when you are making the economic value. So, naturally the economic value is created when you are reducing the labor cost, right. And another important is, that is the what is the output? Output is, that is the increase the productivity and drive business performance, organizational performance, by providing organizations with the right knowledge and tools. So, these economic values you are getting by reducing cost, increasing productivity and and driving the business performance with the right knowledge and tools. Your organization is working with the right type of knowledge and tools, so that it can be proactive in managing their most valuable assets, that are their employees. So, whenever we are using these workforce planning for the as a one of the pillars into the talent analytics. So, output is, that is, you are reducing the labor cost and increasing the economic values, increase the productivity, and then organizations is driving, going ahead with the right kind of these knowledge and tools. So, and they are very proactive, as a result of which you are acquire, deploy, develop and retain your manpower or human capital, and that is the best outcome or the benefit of the talent analytics and in the workforce planning. So, this is all about the first pillar. Rest of the pillars we will talk into next session. Thank you.